everyone, going up in flames once again. We are back with Rival Bros Week 2, Episode 2. Well, I guess match day 1 because we did the intro, but it's the second episode. If you didn't catch the first one, a lot of intros in that in terms of like the backgrounds and why this jackass is a United fan. But I'm your host as always, Timushin, and my brother Oedipus here. What's going on?
Very well. Good morning, all from Istanbul.
Yes, the hour difference is all over the place over here, but we're making it happen. So the match day 1 is the week 1 is in the books. The first week afterwards, it happens in every league. There's like a ridiculous overreaction to everything. What is your biggest overreaction after seeing the results from week 1?
If you watch the first episode about United, I talked about 2 things that United needed. One of them was a keeper. The second one was to let Fernandez go as soon as possible and get a proper captain. We lost 1-0. We lost the ball because of Fernandez's overconfident, almost arrogant passing instead of just hitting it away in the box. That led to a corner, which led to Altay being very weak in the goal and letting one.
Which is a familiar sight for us Fenerbahce fans, exactly. But this is a different story.
Yeah. So I mean, De Gea was shorter than Altay, so it's not his size.
No.
So the only thing, well, 2 things from week 1, match day 1. I watched 3 90 minutes. One of them being United Arsenal. I found Arsenal just getting the results, but we weren't that bad at all. So there are some hopes with the new guys as well. But the things that United needs are actually as clear as a monkey's ass, as we say in Turkish.
Do we say that in Turkish?
I just said that.
Yes, I was going to say, because I never heard that, but let's roll with that. Since nobody knows Turkish, you can just fly random sayings like
exactly.
Saying, but yeah, I've never heard of that about as clear as a monkey says, because I didn't. Okay, that makes 0 sense. Okay, but then again, I say a lot of sayings in Turkish to Angie, and none of them make sense to her. But this one, I haven't even heard to even like say to Angie. Fun fact, actually, I forgot to mention this. I might have even forgot to mention this on like American Scouser before, but when United was in Chicago. And they were here for that tournament with like Everton, West Ham, right? I can't remember.
Bournemouth.
Yes. And they had dinner at the London house where Layla works. And she was like, "Oh, United this year." And my first instinct was to poison their food or put something in there so they have the runs for like a week straight. But my second thing was, I'm like, go say hi to Altay. And she was like, "No, you can't." It's like they're not letting it's staff, so they're not letting anybody like talk. She basically like does the hosting and stuff like that at London House, which is like a really high end place in Chicago. And but then she did at the end got the courage, because I was like, dude, you have a connection. You're not going there to like take a stupid selfie. I'm like, don't even ask for a selfie. I never understand the whole selfie with a player thing myself anyway. But she's from the generation. She might have normally asked for a selfie, but I was like, just go say, you're the great granddaughter of Esat Caner, like a famous, one of the best of all time for Fenerbahce. And Altay was very happy and impressed. First of all, probably somebody recognized them. But yeah, he was like very like polite, and like he said, like, "Oh, that's great to hear." Like he said hi to us, and like say send my regards to them and stuff like that. And Layla said he's like a mountain man, like he is huge. Like he's like, I know, like she knows soccer, she played forever, and she's like, I know he's a goalie, but like Layla was saying, like so it's not size. I guess here's my thing though. And I kind of told you this, and it's not because Altay, I'm not defending Altay. Same thing has happened to Ali, and we went from, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago where you couldn't like even cough or sneeze next to a goalie inside the goal area, right?
Yeah.
Unless you punch them, it's all good. And now suddenly it's the goalie's fault. They got to be stronger coming out. They got to fight through that contact and stuff. Whereas in the past, any contact
was a problem. Exactly.
Incidental now was a foul. I mean, what do you? I mean, I personally don't like it because that's all they're doing now is putting a bunch of people in the box, and then you're like, you know what, you deal with us then, kind of a thing to fight over him, and it makes it. The reason I don't like it is it's very freaking subjective
Yeah.
in terms of what is a foul and what is not. Whereas it was a bit more clear in the past because if there was contact, you were kind of like impeding his movement or whatever, it was a foul. So this 5-10 years ago would be a foul on Altai because he's going for the ball and stuff. Do
Yeah.
you like the adjustment into rule or not really?
No, I'm with you on that. Plus, if there
Because
is
we're
such a
old.
rule, exactly. I'm actually older, so
Yes.
yes, I'm all for that one. But uh, if this is the rule, I know Roy Keane and everybody sort of bashed into Altay because he's an easy target. I think I would say also that the centre backs or the defenders, in United, uh, should have protected them more in the area. Uh, that's the other thing I would have said. But then again, that was a deciding goal. So naturally, if you are a Premier League goalie, these are the rules now. We are not
Yeah.
15 years ago. So you have to come out and punch whoever the ball or whoever is in there. And as Leila says, he's almost two. I think he's almost 2 meters. He's
Meters, yes.
he's
I was gonna say
huge.
over here they're like 2 watts. Okay, yeah.
I know what, seven, not seven, 6'8", 6'9",
You know, I mean, there's a way
6'8".
to find that
I
out.
think it's
Let's
6'8".
Yeah, I mean, he's a mod. Like he doesn't look at. I did not even realize that actually until actually Layla said it, and I did look, and I was like, "Holy cow! Yeah, he is." Let me see, 6'6" is what he is actually. 198 is what he
198.
is,
Yeah,
almost
almost
2 meters.
almost two
But yeah, I
meters.
mean, he's so it's not like a like a size issue, but strength has always been an issue for him though when he's coming
Yeah.
out for these sidebars. And like I say, not to defend Altai, I feel like overall the sport has gone this direction, and now people instead of it went from trying to get players open when doing a set piece, like whether it's like blocking or like making late runs, whatever it was. Instead, now everybody's trying to like eliminate the goalie. So if you get something on targets, that's good enough. You don't have to get a clear header because there's no goalie basically at the end of the day. But overreaction for Liverpool, probably for most fans, is the fact that we let Bournemouth back in the game, and defensively, it did look worrying at times, especially on the counter. They played like a Klopp team as opposed to a slot team, especially after
Mm.
being up 2-0. Very naive. Everybody making runs into the box when we're up only by like when it was 2-1. For us to give a 5-on-2 counter is very naive and just not
Correct.
smart overall. And I'm sure Slot is not happy with that. I know Gravenberg not being there is a big factor. Made the mistake of trying Endo at right back for a little bit, which we'll talk about this coming match day as well, but is a big concern with Frimpong out now until the international break. Bradley is not there. Gomez is probably not there, so it's going to be a mystery. Most likely Soboslai or Curtis Jones playing right back, which is not the ideal solution, but we'll take a look at that. So we'll take a look at the week overall, kind of like hits games one at a time. I'm not going to go through every games. I don't know which ones. I know you said you watched 3 games. You watched the Chelsea game, United game,
And the Villa game.
and the Villa game. Okay. I some of these I watched in full, some of them as like highlights and stuff like that. Liverpool beat Bournemouth 4-2. Like I say, I think overall you see a lot of good things. Getting countered is not the best, and Veers did not have the best game, but I really like, what Ekitike did, for example. That was a huge, huge, huge plus. And overall, like you could kind of tell if once Gravenberg slots back in that midfield, once it clicks in,
Yeah.
I like what I see from Kerkez and Frimpong for the future. There's going to be growing pains when you add so many players. The key is to win during these growing pains, regardless of how it looks. I don't know if you I don't know if you got to see it at all and what you thought, but did you
Well,
watch begrudgingly as a United fan?
I was hopeful because of the naivety of the team um, on the United side. If you let Bournemouth in, with those. You might have a problem in your hands, which I'm happy to acknowledge. Uh, but obviously, because this is game one, and you started with a Bournemouth home.
Yeah.
United started with an Arsenal game, so I think it's unfair to compare. But Liverpool will sort of gather the troops again. Frimpong lost is a concern, I think. And I believe the second game, both for United and Liverpool, will be more decisive, or will be more open to commentary as how the season is going to be shaped.
Yeah, I
So
think, like I said, it's really until this international break is done and we
yeah,
come back, I think it's going to be hard to tell. I mean, we know which way United is going to go, but actually, they looked better than I thought. We'll get to that game, but I thought they looked
yes,
better than I thought. But I think overall, these 3 weeks, uh, if you can get as many points as you can out of them,
yeah,
we always do this though, right? We're like, it doesn't matter in the beginning how you play as long as you get the points, and then it'll be the middle of the thing, and it'll be like, it doesn't matter at this point, just get the points. It's the end of the season, kind of a thing. So at the end of the day, any given point, it doesn't really matter how the hell you play as long as you get the 3 points. And that's why my
exactly.
only thing was the Bournemouth game. When you look at the first three fixtures, away at Newcastle coming up and then Arsenal, this was the one. If you were going to pencil in the 3 points, actually, you would have put it in ink. Bournemouth match was the match. So
Yeah.
if you lost points there, I think it would be like a huge disappointment. So kind of happy to get the win over that. Next game up, Villa 0, Newcastle 0.
That was a boring game until Villa was down to 10 men. Then I would have thought Newcastle would be more courageous, but they didn't have the teeth to
Yeah.
stink into Aston Villa. So two very experienced um, coaches, obviously, and they were both very careful not to lose the game, uh, especially Villa after they were down to
Yeah.
10 men. But Newcastle, as I said, I'm I'm not sure how they are going to be welcoming you in St James Park, but they were before Aston Villa was down to 10 men. Newcastle never looked like scoring either. So there was no difference. There was no intensity to their game. Both of the teams, they were very content with the 0-0, and that's what they got, I
Yeah,
think.
like it felt like in the beginning, both teams were like, let's not lose. Whatever happens, happens. And
Exactly.
obviously, once the red card happens, then Villa's like, well, 1 point is definitely good now, kind of a deal. And then, like you said, they did not have the firepower. Or Newcastle, you would think it would be like all played on the Villa goal and stuff like that. But I felt like Villa handled it really well and kept going. So we'll talk about the Newcastle Liverpool game when we look at next week, because I think that's going to be probably like one of the most interesting matchups
Yeah.
coming up this weekend schedule, mainly because of the drama in the background and anything else. But even without the drama, going to St. James Park is always different than having Newcastle come to you. But this whole Isak drama in the background obviously makes it different. A couple of these will go by pretty fast, to be honest with you. Brighton 1, Fulham 1. We saw Ferdi back in action, so that was kind of like nice to see for us knowing him from Fenerbahce. Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. You got to be happy for Sunderland, especially if you watch the Netflix the Netflix documentary with them. But you knew that place would be going. I still don't think they will. I think we both picked them to go down at the end of the day. But there's something nice about opening up the Premier League years later, coming back and winning. You almost feel happy. It's like a feel happy Disney moment for Sunderland.
I was well, Sunderland was on my list. West Ham was also on my list, if you remember, for the relegation. So West Ham started quite poorly. I felt sorry for them rather than being happy for Sunderland. Uh, that was a game to start with a point, definitely. Sunderland away, newcomers to the Premier League. and you have to sort of establish some sort of hold, at least get a point from that away game, and they couldn't do that. And
Yeah,
I'm wondering how they're going to be coming back, especially now they lost Alvarez as well.
I
Let's
don't know.
see if that actually makes a difference. We were actually, well, obviously he went on loan to Fenerbahce, our mutual team, but we actually talked about this in our other Turkish program, how he will add to Fenerbahce. It will be interesting to see what he takes away from West Ham as well,
Yeah,
and
especially
how the
in
game changes.
midfields. I mean, it's like he's a dude that when you play against them, like when Liverpool play the West Ham, you're more worried that he's gonna hurt like McAllister or somebody like that because he's like just like a physical. It's like a Joelinton kind of a player where he's like he has the size, so he's kind of like an enforcer in midfield and gives that midfield a lot of like basically like beef, and like like a power and cuts off the middle. So that's what he'll bring to Fenerbahce, especially in Europe. We talked about how useful he will be to Fenerbahce. I don't know how much he will add to a top team in the attacking sense when he's playing against low block and stuff. But we'll see that. Hopefully, we'll be pleasantly surprised because there's a option to buy as well. Tottenham 3, Burnley 0. Burnley does look awful. And then you talk about Wolves, who's coached by our old Vitor of Fenerbahce, against City 4-0. Out of those two, did either one of those wins make you say, these guys might be for real, for either one?
Mm, City, yes, because we talked about this.
Yeah.
Guardiola is going to come back with a strong hand after the humiliation of last season, because
Yeah.
I think it was a humiliation.
Correct.
So I think they started as they mean business. Wolves had a very strong end of the season, especially after Vitor came in. Um, but they have lost a lot of blood. Obviously, we will talk about the guys that come to Fenerbahce and United,
Yeah.
Konya and everybody. So they have lost a lot of footing, but that remains to be seen if Wolves actually lost a lot of blood, so they are not the team that actually finished last season,
Yeah.
or City has had a very good start. Haaland had a very good start. By the way, I have to say, you don't participate in the fantasy Premier League, but we have a group.
Proudly don't. Yes. Thank you.
Yes, I have, obviously we have a group of guys who do for many seasons now, and I had in whopping 83 points.
I know you had a
From
good week. Otherwise, you wouldn't even bring this shit up.
Exactly. So
So if we don't hear about fantasy, we will know that your team started sucking. Why did you have
so
Holland or something? Did you captain or
well,
something?
but you never guess the name of the team though. It's Canaria Bros United. So you're involved there as well. So no, what I was going to say is I put Haaland again because last year Haaland was a disappointment, as you know, in the
Yeah.
fantasy as well. But he started quite good. But we'll see if it's because of Wolves or is
Yeah.
it because he's back. I think it's too early to say. Burnley, as you say, that's not sort of a measure now. I don't think we will see Burnley as the old Shandaish sort of Burnley, sort of
Yes. Sean Douche, as I
hanging
like to
on.
call him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well,
With Burnley,
I
yeah,
really
because
don't
I
like
think
him.
with Spurs, even within that game, you saw moments where the old Spurs came out for a little bit, but Burnley does not look good enough to take advantage of those
Yeah.
moments. And then once the goal started coming in, it was over anyway. A brilliant goal, by the way. As much as I hate Richarlison, forget the final touch, but that entire build-up, I actually like saw a reel that every single player actually touched that ball during
Yeah.
the lead up to that goal, and like obviously a fantastic finish at the end. As much as we hate him, you got to give credit where it's due. That
Yeah.
was quite the
Exactly.
goal there. But I think that's a lot on Burnley. I agree with that. With City, with Wolves, more importantly, I think that's why week one is always like an overreaction. I just don't know if the new manager smell of Vitor is wearing off. You know, you bring a
Hmm.
Portuguese guy last season. It's a breath of fresh air. Half the team understands what he's saying because everybody's Portuguese over there. So I think that kind of like helps the new manager smell because it did wear down towards the end of the season a little bit as well. So we'll see. I mean, we know Vitor, but obviously Premier League is a different animal. Not to mention the Vitor we know from Fenerbahce has, you know, the best players in the league, whereas Vitor is with Wolves now, where he doesn't have the best players in the league. He's trying to make something out of like, you know, much less ingredients, if you will.
In his defense, I would say the transfer window is pretty much open, and he is quite good as picking players. Kim Min Jae, for example, which he brought to Fenerbahce and then sent to Napoli, and obviously he's playing for
Yep.
Bayern now. And he was nobody knew him when he came to Fenerbahce. So
Yeah.
I think Vitor is a very good analyzer, and he has a very good scouting network. So he will see the weaknesses of the uh, lost blood, and he will probably be putting some
He's
replacements.
also the guy instrumental in like making Ferdi the player he is by making him like a wing
Exactly.
back, like a left back, right back kind of a thing and stuff. But at the same time, it's a bit different finding a player who is under the radar and bring him onto the Turkish league as opposed to finding a player under the radar and taking him over to the Premier League too. So,
That's
but
correct.
I mean, I am rooting for him. I mean, we liked him when he was a Fenerbahce coach as well. He's like a easier guy to root for, but I don't know if he's in over his head with that squad. But yeah, like you said, we got another 10 days over here, so we'll see what happens. Chelsea 0, Palace 0. I mean, Palace
Yeah.
is like an established team, but I think does this say more about Chelsea or more about Palace?
I think more about Palace, but I wish more about Chelsea. I'll try to say what I mean. You were saying Chelsea will be in there. By the looks of things, it's same old, same old. I mean, a lot of players. Um, you have put Pedro as
Yeah.
one of the stars of the season. Well, he will be nowhere near that because he's not fed enough balls. Especially Palace was defending very well and going into attack very well. There's one thing in that game. I'm sure you have seen that Palace's goal, which was
Yes.
disallowed,
Yeah.
and I think that was the first uh, announcement by the referee in the Premier League with the new system. I have cancelled this because I didn't like the look of Eze or whatever.
I'm just not
Um,
feeling this. Like, because it's
they
against
didn't
Chelsea. Like,
they didn't deserve it. And I was actually watching the game. I was furious, and then I didn't hear what he said. I don't know if he said this though. Uh, But Sky Sports, right after, actually tweeted the rule, which
yes.
I had no idea about. Did you know that?
It's
If
new, isn't it?
the,
It's a new rule.
I think it's a new one.
It
If
is
the
a new rule because you
defending
used to be able to get him butted up to it, the wall,
exactly,
which
but
made no
now it's
sense because then, you know, obviously you can cover the end. So now you have to be what, like so many in front of him and
a
stuff like
meter,
that.
a meter away, like what?
Either way, either direction.
Either
Yes.
direction. Uh, if the wall is three or more players defending.
Yes.
That's the rule. And I have seen in the United game the next day. No, next not next day. The next game wasn't it? United.
Yeah.
Chelsea was playing first, and then United played. Um, Now the referees are actually marking with the shaving foam that they use uh, uh, that where the opposition or where the attacking player will have to stay um, from the wall, a meter away from the wall. I don't know why they did this. It makes things a lot more complicated
Yeah.
and a lot more VAR decisions. This is not a meter. This is like 70 centimeters sort of thing. Will
So
that
now
will
you
that
can
be
celebrate any goals until the VAR is
exactly
done. So even a free kick goal, like normal, you'd be like, I'm not worried about offside. I'm not worried about anything. I'm yelling and screaming. You're like, wait. Let's make sure. It's like drive Stitch and Leo crazy because I'm like, hold on, man. We got to watch for VAR because they hear the crowd and they know something happened. And I probably celebrate or whatever. But I'm like, wait. We got to wait for the VAR. And like Stitch is like, even on free kicks, what the fuck? But yeah, I'm not, I don't understand
No.
why they felt like let's throw this in there. What did you think about since it got introduced and now it's being enforced initially, the 8-second ordeal awarding a corner kick? And I love how they're acting like this wasn't a rule before. Like the 6-second was a rule, and maybe they felt the referee said, hey, it's too harsh to give the indirect in there in the box. Let's just give him a corner kick or something that will introduce it. Like
exactly. I mean, when is the last time you remember somebody gave an indirect free kick because of the
and you would look for malice if somebody called it just because nobody ever calls it.
Exactly. So maybe they are trying to soften it. I don't know if it will work, to be honest, because let's see. I don't like the way they introduce new rules all the time to make this more complicated.
Spoken like an old man.
well, yeah, but thing is, yeah, I know that sounds like it, but it gives VAR. I think that's why they are doing this. It gives VAR a lot more things to do rather than just sitting there watching TV and having a cup of tea or a pint of beer or whatever they do over there. So you have to look at the 8 second now. You can count the seconds now, or you can count the measure the ball and the opposition of that sort of thing. Because maybe they said, well, we are bored stiff here, man. So give us something to work on, please. that looks like that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's like when they put like security in front of the stores and then like Walmart and then they act like they're a greeter action. No, just greet people since you're standing up here, kind of a thing. And then watch so that nobody sneaks out the front door. But yeah, yeah, I get it. I like to say any of these rules, if it's helping the game, I'm all for it. And if they enforce it, I'm all for it. I just get the sense that they will enforce it the first 3-4 weeks. And then it'll be gone. With any rule, the issue always comes to consistency more than anything else. If you're gonna regularly do it, go for it. But if you're gonna do it like once in a blue moon and it's gonna hurt my team, then yeah, I'm not gonna be too happy about it. And unfortunately, that's usually the way it goes.
What is I don't know this though. Can VAR intervene if it's 9 seconds?
I don't think so. I don't think that's any VAR at all. I don't think, because after the seconds, he's supposed to show like how many seconds it happened, so the goalie sees it. The only thing I have to go back into the rule book and read is when does it start. So if I claim the ball, is it because the moment I claim the ball? If I fall with it, is it the moment I fall? Then I get up. Is it when I get up? You know what I mean? Like when does the 8 seconds start? I gotta go in the rule book. Like, is it when it's under control? Because I mean, I don't know. There's a difference between me claiming the ball and holding it, and me kind of like diving for the ball and falling, and then I have to get up and stuff. That's I mean, in our case, that's 8 seconds by itself, for God's sake. So okay, by the time we get up, okay. Forest 3, Brentford 1. I don't know how much to make of that one, to be honest with you. I only saw like the highlights. I do worry about Brentford's, but Forest, you kind of knew they're going to kind of continue. They lost some blood as well, but I do think Forest will be a decent team and a tough place to go to. But let's get to your game. United 0, Arsenal 1. I didn't watch the whole game, but the parts I watched, which is like a majority of it, I would say, United didn't look... I couldn't tell if United didn't look as bad as I thought they would, or Arsenal didn't look as good as I thought they would. Or they should.
No, I think Arsenal was quite good defending, definitely, as they always do.
Yeah.
So they got a clean sheet, but there were some moments, and I'm sure as you've seen, they had a lot of problems stopping Cunha and Mbemo. And after that, they had a lot of problems with the crowd. United could put into the box, which was our biggest problem when we were attacking
Yeah.
a team getting a score. And we let very little for them to actually come back and counter on, which I liked as well.
Is that from
Casemiro,
United? Is that from Arsenal? Like they signed
I think
Eze,
it's
for
from.
example.
Well,
Will it be
I would say it's from United
okay?
because
You would like to think it's from United.
Odegaard had some good runs. Martinelli had some good runs, but we stopped them real well. The thing is this, uh, like you said a couple of minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago, if you are getting results, then you are more confident with your game. What I'm concerned about is you play this well and not getting results will be preventing United to continue playing with the decided game that they actually played because we definitely deserved a draw, definitely, and nobody would say I think otherwise. We were
Yeah,
unlucky to lose,
I mean, just the
especially
goal you
with that.
concede says you deserve a draw, really.
Yeah, exactly. But this will be the test when we go to Fulham, which I'm sure we are going to talk about, uh, to carry on playing like that up front because we seem to have a lot more choices, and the Arsenal defense was really having problems dealing with, as I said, Cunha
Yeah.
and Mbemo. But let's see in London what's going to happen in London.
Yeah, because Fulham is a mystery as well. Fulham is one of those teams that I mean, that's like like Silva's thing is. I feel like sometimes that team can be very naive, and I think
Yeah.
against that's when United's those signings I think will help because those guys can create something out of nothing. So if the game is in the balance, they can do something against Fulham as they're attacking naively and get them on the counter and stuff. What did you make of Sheshko?
He came on. He. I don't think it was his game to be to make a decision about him, to be honest, because he came on as Amarim was getting desperate. So it was a very crowded box. He did some, not in the box, but came out, uh, sort of, opened the game a couple of times, switching the wings, came back to claim the ball, sort of, opened the midfield and everything. But apart from that, it will be a very not timely way to comment on him. I like his physique. I like the way he sees the area with the passing and everything, and sees his friends like awareness sort of thing. But we haven't seen any
Yeah.
shooting or sort of
Yeah, very small sample size. I
yeah,
mean, but just
exactly.
still like, I mean, I don't know, like how about Gyökeres on the other side? Because I saw a stat that he touched his hair 10 times more than he touched the ball.
I think it is. Yeah.
Because I mean, fair or not, and I think this was, we talked about this a lot on the channel when we were comparing Nunez and stuff. When we are talking about Nunez, one of the disadvantages was coming the same time as Holland and being
Yeah.
compared in numbers and stuff, while Holland was putting ridiculous numbers. I feel like whether it's fair or not, Ekitike, Sheshko, and Gyökeres will be compared all season in terms of what they're doing week in and week out. And I mean, clearly, week one winner is Ekitike. But what did you think of Gyökeres? Like, is it going to be the guy that they want, or is that why? I mean, I know Havertz got injured, and they said
Yeah.
that's why they're back in the market and getting Eze from Crystal Palace. But or is it like, yeah, this might not be the guy. We got to get somebody else, kind of a deal.
Um, United game was United game was a difficult one for Arsenal. I think it was a difficult one for anybody in the Arsenal attack to show himself and see what he's made of.
But if you
But
can't show
I'm
yourself
sure.
against United defense, one would argue, right?
Well, United defense was more supported by the midfield in this game. That's what I
Okay.
liked about it. So it wasn't easy. But when when I compare, for example, somebody like Eze from Palace, I think he would be a lot more effective if he was wearing an Arsenal shirt that day.
Yeah,
Definitely,
I think so too. Which kind of
definitely.
worries me, to be honest with you. I thought that was a I would have been happy if they, finished the season and put their eggs in the Joker's basket from based on
Yeah,
what we've seen so far.
yeah.
Is kind of like a difference maker because I'm not that big on Havertz either. I know he does a lot of stuff off the ball, but yeah, I did not like that signing as a Liverpool fan. I was like, that's not going to be good for anybody kind of deal. But let's finish the week real quick with Leeds getting a penalty goal against Everton. That was like, I mean, these games right now are, I know it's like the first week and it's overreactions and stuff, but man, you look at a game like Leeds, Everton, what was the other one we were talking about earlier? Sunderland, West Ham, and stuff like that. These might come at the end of the season and you go back and be like, dude, like that was a 6 pointer, for
3 points.
example, between Sunderland and West Ham, especially if you're a lot about West Ham.
Exactly, exactly. And Leeds, especially a newcomer to the Premier League, especially when during a time when the newcomers are the new goals.
Yeah.
So it's a golden 3 points both for Sunderland and Leeds. Everton, I'm not sure what to make of them. We'll see in the Goodison Park, but we'll probably see another miserable season by the Blues. That's
Yeah,
what I
which
think.
is always a joy to watch. So we'll take a look at next week. We'll focus on a couple of games, and obviously, the games for our teams over here mostly. But the big one probably on Saturday is because Friday's game is West Ham Chelsea. I mean, it's a London derby and everything, but yeah. I mean, I'll watch it. Don't get me wrong. But probably the biggest game on Saturday is the morning game for some freaking reason at 6:30 in the morning for us. It'll be at a decent, nice 2:30 in the afternoon for you.
Yeah.
Is City Tottenham, which is probably one we talked about. That's why I kind of asked that question earlier. So now they meet each other. Which way do you think it will go?
It will be at least 3 goals to City. That's what I think. I think Guardiola would love this fixture as soon as they picked it up. Away to Wolves and then home to Tottenham, because both Arsenal and United have very, very difficult fixtures to start with, don't they? Liverpool,
Yeah.
for that matter, as well.
Yeah.
So Guardiola would love to have those 3 easy points. I think it will be like that. 3 goals to United, 3-1 City, 3-1,
3-1
3-0.
City. I think this is a game we're going to find out about City's defense a little bit.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that we're going to find out, like on the counter and stuff like that. How are they going to handle Spurs? I think it'll be like a high scoring affair. I just don't know if I'm going to wake up for this, but I think it'll be a fun game to watch. I think it's going to be a high scoring game and probably a game we'll find out, find out about both teams a lot of. But yeah, 6:30 is really cramping my style, but I'll give it a shot. No promises.
2:30, I think I will be at the airport. As you know, I'll be going to Copenhagen, 5:30 plane. So it will be right before the plane. I will be able to watch that. Not the other ones
Ah,
though.
yeah, yeah, you're a traveling guy this week,
Yes,
all over the globe. So
all over the globe.
if you're in Europe, watch your ass, because he might be in your neighborhood over there. Let's get to Fulham United, and then Newcastle Liverpool brings us to different conversations. But Fulham United, how do you think it will go? I know you said it's going to be one that you find out a lot about, but how do you think it will go?
It will be a boring game, which will win 1-0.
Really?
I think that's how it will pan out, because um, I think the important thing is we are going to be seeing the likes of Cunha and Mbama in a different prospect, like Fulham. So they will be defended much harder and much up the field.
Yeah,
That's
true.
what I think. So we will have more difficulty in the midfield, because Fulham will be
Yeah.
crowding that area. So it will be a boring game. But we will win by a Cunha or a Fernandez penalty, 1-0.
God, at least you admit how disgusting it is to be a United fan. It's just like you just said it. It's like, ugh, just like threw up in my mouth just thinking about it, because you're probably right.
No,
That's
this,
the
this
sad
is
part.
this is the thing that United has to go through after all this, very cloudy patch. We have to win games, this or
What
that.
happens if they lose? Like, when do people say, when do they pull Emeram's plug? Because I think he still has
Depends.
credits.
I know, definitely. It depends on the kind of performance that the team actually shows. If we play like we played against Arsenal, missed chances, made runs, or sort of see that desire
Hope. It's
and
the hope that kills you.
well, yeah. So that's sort of Nietzsche says, but um, if we can get a few wins under our belt, then we will be playing more confident football because we have the players for it. I think a lot better than the Garnachos and the Rashfords and that sort of thing. That's what I think now, potentially. At least.
Potentially, yes.
But we have to get some wins so to get the confidence going, especially in the midfield, and to feed from there, because our I think our weakest part is the keeper and the defending, right? I think that's the thing.
So what happened with, like, I mean, how do you, the Onana ordeal? I mean, I thought that was kind of like a shocker because it went all off season as, oh, he just hurts. He's number one, and
Yeah,
Altay is just filling in. How did it end up? I mean, I think it's comical that Altay, who was not good enough for Fenerbahce, is starting for United. First of all, that's like a
exactly.
shocker by itself. I mean, what do you make of that whole Onana thing? I know, like, there was a lot of like Donnarumma talk and everything like that, but
Yeah,
there's also Donnarumma talk for City now. And
yeah.
you would think if you're Donnarumma, you're like, City, it is kind of a thing. So,
Hmm.
what do you make of that? How they handled Onana?
Well, first of all, I think we bear too long with Onana. I
That's
mean,
fair. Yeah.
uh, a season, if
Season
if
two.
if not if not more, a season too long, because he has done a lot of things that a United, well, a Fulham or a Burnley keeper wouldn't do, shouldn't do, or a Fenerbahce keeper wouldn't do,
Yes.
shouldn't do. So he had a lot of chances, but again, last season, if you have Altay, and that's the only chance, you wouldn't start the season with Onana. I don't know why they did what they did.
Yeah, that's true.
We were talking about in your peloton as well. Uh, Somebody like Donnarumma, a good keeper, not only a good keeper, but an experienced, seasoned keeper,
Season. There you go.
who sort of will gather the defense and give confidence to the friends and fear to the enemy. That's another Turkish saying.
That is actually a Turkish saying. It might even be an English
Thank you.
saying. I'm not sure, but I think, okay, I can confirm that this is a Turkish saying. The monkey's ass
Thank you.
one, no, it is not. But yeah, I thought it was weird. Like I say, we agree. We kind of kept talking about it because, as Liverpool fans, we find it laughable. Like, Onana's like errors is just like, and like it's like a blooper reel that never ends. It feels like, and it's like, yeah. So I can understand they didn't want to admit fault, and they kept playing him, like
Yeah.
almost like playing him into form. The problem is and this is why it's very, very difficult to get goalies. It's probably the hardest position because you got to play. I know you can as a goalie, it's very easy to lose the confidence. It's very hard to get it back. Like,
Yeah.
you can be a right back, make a huge mistake, but you can kind of like go up top and make an assist or go a couple of tackles and kind of like get it back and recompose yourself. Not only the goalie's confidence, but it affects the guys in front of you in their confidence in you when that happens. It doesn't has I think it doesn't happen as much with players on the pitch as it was with the goalie. That's why it's always, I mean, look at Chelsea. They've gone through like 30 goalies for God's sakes, and they cannot find the one. That's why like the alley move was huge. And I really think whatever Liverpool saw in Mamardashvili, that's why they paid big money for him, even though we had Ali. I mean, spending 30 million on a backup is not very Liverpool like, but they must have seen something, because that's worth paying for in that position, just because how it impacts the whole team. And we saw that with Onana. I just find that, it's just hilarious that Altay lines up over there as who got booed out of Kadıköy. And then he's over there starting for United. It's just like comical.
Who will be booed out of Old Trafford? By the way, things are going, and I'm so
honestly,
sorry for him.
It would have to be, if he gets booed out of Old Trafford, it will be nothing to him because he's seen worse. He was like, you guys call this booing? Like, this is like nothing kind of thing. He will not be offended, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure everybody back home will say, those English, they are racist. That's why they are booing. But the ones that will say this booed him as well when he was in Fenerbahce.
They're booing him because he's Turkish. Yeah, I can already hear it. Yes, I can already hear it. Okay, Liverpool at Newcastle. This whole Isak ordeal, we talked a little bit about it. I feel like it will add more to Newcastle's side of things, because in Liverpool's version of things, it's like, I mean, like we're good. But, we want him. But in the other side, it's causing a lot of drama. And you said it yourself. If Isak is there this last weekend, they win that game.
They could win that game, especially after Villa was down to 10.
So he gets a lot of hate. This is what I was going to ask you. We talked about it in this morning show with like Adriana, and like there was like a Newcastle fan in the chat and stuff like that. He gets a lot of crap for how he's handling it. He's put out a statement because he was in the player of the season, and then Newcastle put out a statement themselves and stuff like that. Maybe because I'm a Liverpool fan, I find his story a lot more believable, that he said he was going to go lay low. Newcastle goes after all these players. They can't get him. So Newcastle is like, yeah, well, you're not going anymore. We're like, well, you guys promised. I find that a lot more realistic than Newcastle's like, oh, we didn't know anything about this kind of a thing. I mean, that I don't buy. That's like Newcastle trying to make him look like the bad guy. But we do that as a Liverpool fan because we don't want to say, well, we're signing a rat, because that's what he's labeled as by Newcastle fans. As an outsider. It's not even an outsider, as a freaking United fan. How do you view it? Like, which statement do you lean more towards?
I would agree with you. It's probably Newcastle, especially after the fans see the team, that they don't have any replacement for him. They would be saying, not we couldn't get anybody to replace the guy. But he ratted out on us. I think that's to save face against the fans, and it's easy to put the player out there. I'm not sure how he's going to handle that and how his performance will be affected, but that remains to be seen. Obviously, how strong or how resilient do you have to be to actually get over this?
Do you think he stays at Newcastle, or at the end Newcastle says, we made it really difficult and we got a lot of money? Because right now they're saying like until the conditions are met. So it's a very easy, like they let the door cracked open so they can just like, be like, oh, the conditions are good now, and just walk out. Because I mean, that's what it sounds like. Do you think he stays there and they force him to play?
I don't think it will be good for anybody.
Him staying, right? Yeah.
So if he goes to Liverpool or if he goes to the States or even to Turkey or Saudi Arabia or whatever, anybody away, anywhere away from Newcastle would be advisable.
Yeah, because I know like some Newcastle fans are like, in our comments and the reels and stuff where we get a lot of hate, like saying, oh, you pay up, otherwise he's our player, he will play and then he'll score goals again, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Like we went through this last year towards the end. There were a couple of people saying like, oh, maybe Trent will change his mind when he sees these celebrations and stuff. And I was like, we're past that point. Like that's
Exactly.
it's too late now. Like you can't have like a million people call you a rat, and then next week, oh, that was a nice cross. You're not a rat anymore. I mean, yeah, that just does not work like that. I feel like with fans, I do admit, if he went back and he scored a couple of goals, they would root for him and they would cheer for him. But I don't think that relationship is ever the same, which is what basically what he's saying as well.
Also, it is important how this is received in the locker room, isn't it? It's just
Yes.
it's not just about the fans and him. It's his colleagues, his teammates, and him. How is it seen? Uh, what really happens? The players would probably know. So
Yes.
they will. That's the other thing, isn't it? I mean, if they we will find out how much of a leader he is once this sort of comes in, because if the players also treat him as a rat, then that would say a lot more than the things that people say against uh, in the press,
I mean,
because
one
that
wonders now that you said that the players, I mean, players will know because they talk to Isak because is their buddy, right? And they
exactly.
probably know the ordeal throughout, not even before all this happened and stuff like that. And you would think, dude, I keep going back to, and I know we talked about having history and all that stuff. People picked United over Newcastle, picked other clubs over Newcastle.
Yeah,
So I wonder how much of that is in the background. Players are like, "Yeah, bro, you don't want to come here," kind of a thing. Like, because they know exactly what's happening, and it might not be, but I think the players will take him back because it gives them a better chance to win, and they clearly
exactly.
know that. But yeah, they have to know, or if they do that, it's most likely because they know he's actually right. He's been
Yeah,
like honest and stuff. I just
yeah,
don't see how. I mean, people say like he's going about the wrong way and stuff, which I mean, it's ugly. I just can't come up with a way where I can say, see, if he did this, it would be better, kind of a thing. I don't know what else he could have done. I thought he handled it properly, where he kept quiet early on. He didn't say anything, because if he comes out and says, "Oh, I'm leaving," by the way, one, we see it now, like with Visa, they're increasing the price because they know, one, you have money, you got a ton of money from Liverpool for Isak, and two, you need a striker. So the guy who was 40 is now 60. So I felt he did the right thing by staying quiet early on. And when nothing happened, he was like, "What happened? I thought I was leaving." They're like, "Well,
yeah.
not anymore." But we know the owners, especially as people from Turkey. So as long as he doesn't accept any invitations to the embassy, he should be in good shape.
He
He'll
should
come.
be in good shape.
Yeah,
Well,
he'll
I
come
would
to Liverpool in one piece, if you will.
I would actually recommend En Nesri to Newcastle. You could have him for about 35, 40 million, and there you go. And I think he will be a good Premier League forward.
I think so. I think so. I mean, we got him for what, 20?
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll sell him. We'll work something out. We'll get our agents involved.
exactly,
What is your
exactly. So
prediction for that game?
call us. So call us. 1-1.
Okay. What was your prediction? Oh, you said winning for the other one. I actually think 1-1 for the Fulham game. I feel like we squeak out this one 2-1. I can't
Okay.
keep, but that's like me doing the homer pick there. I am worried, especially with Frimpong being out, Soboslai playing right back. Probably we're guessing and stuff, but it'll be interesting to see. Any surprises on the way out? On the Tuesday night podcast on the panel, we do Tonali's picks, where the upsets. You're a gambler yourself,
Yes, I am.
so now that we announced it, who are you up? We're going this way.
No. Yeah.
Do you have an upset that you expect to happen? And we'll do our own booking over
Okay.
you.
Two upsets. I'm
Two,
two
doing a
upsets.
parlay bet, if you will. Okay, go ahead.
Yes, yes, please. One of them will be Arsenal Leeds. That will be a draw.
Okay, I like
And
it.
the other
I
one,
like it already.
the other one is definitely West Ham Chelsea game. Definitely. Because Chelsea did not look the part, and West Ham will be, it's a London derby. They will have a very difficult time in the London Stadium.
Hmm. I like that. I don't even know after the week one if it's an upset, but I know what you mean. The Arsenal Leeds one is definitely an upset, but you're basically saying
Definitely
they
an
would
upset.
steal a
Yeah.
point over there. I don't, let's see over here if there's anything crazy. I can see Sunderland. If I were doing a crazy pick, I'm saying Sunderland over Burnley over there and
Okay.
see how that goes. But we'll wrap it up for this week. I notice your laptop battery is dying, or you're
It's
getting
not actually.
darker as we go.
I'm running out of daylight here. So
Oh, is that what it is?
yeah,
Oh, I
that's it.
guess it's 8 o'clock. Yes, unfortunately,
Exactly.
it's the season.
Yeah.
We'll fall back in no time over here. But thanks everybody for like watching. Do let us know in the comments what you think, what your picks, what your upsets are, and then we'll be back next week, hopefully talking about a Liverpool win and another
No.
United loss. So it'll be great times as always. Take care, everybody.
Play parlay, Leeds United and West Ham, and you won't be sorry. And I'll see you next week here.
And then we'll find out if your fantasy team did good or not, because you'll bring it up either way if they did good. So take care,
Definitely.
everybody.